Guys, I just want to say really quick, make sure you watch to the end of the video, please. If there's ever one of my videos you watch all the way to the end, please watch this one. I think it's definitely interesting, definitely worth watching. And please leave your opinions and leave a like. This video was quite difficult to write and put together and put it into words of how I was thinking. So please watch the whole video and enjoy, guys. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video. We're here talking about ESports Boxing Club. Yet again, you guys seem to really enjoy these ones, and I enjoy making them, and I thought of a really cool idea that we'll get into. People always are quite interested to hear my ideas as obviously a boxer myself, and people obviously were not a boxer, not pro enough, just as someone that does it and loves it and trains it and watches it and everything. People are always quite keen to hear my ideas, not because I have any weight in the game. I really wish I did. I think I could really help these guys out, especially with EA bringing back the college football. People are talking about EA bringing back Fight Night, and they're kind of leaving this game in the dark before it's even come out. I think these guys need to get some gamers in, Marshall Mind, me, a bunch of other people. You know, I would be gutted if they'd done that, where they got a bunch of people to get early access to the game and I wasn't chosen, being the fact that I think I'm the only one that has a strict boxing, fighting style when it comes to actually what I do in real life. Yeah, I know a lot of people obviously, you know, do the wrestling and jiu-jitsu and Muay Thai and things like that, but this is a boxing game. I actually box. The gym that I go to has a professional British champion there. Like, I think I'd be a bit guarded personally. But anyways, I'm going to stop waffling. So first of all, let me know your thoughts on this. Secondly, we're going to be talking about the online and offline career. This is just an idea that I thought of. I don't really think it holds much merit. I don't think it's going to be done, but I just wanted to hear your thoughts. If you think it would be something you'd be interested in or not. For starters, obviously, the offline one follows the line we spoke about, standard stuff, create a fighter, white collar, amateur, Olympics, whatever you choose. You go pro, work your way up, local titles, world titles, job done, retire. Online obviously works along the same basis line, if you will. For starters, you choose if you want an online world with tons of people where it constantly regenerates the people. So obviously, you know, there's probably going to be at one point 10, 15,000 people always playing this game. Same with UFC 4. If this game is as popular as I want it to be, there'll always be thousands of people playing at a time. So when you join, it won't be the same 50 or the same 100, it'll be constantly changing. Or you could choose to start a boxing world with the AI on the hardest difficult and 1 friend, 2 friends, 10 friends, 20 friends. I think personally it would be better if a bunch of content creators all got together and done it, because we'd all fight pretty realistic, abuse no metas, abuse no broken mechanics. So anyway, let's start with the online world. I would say obviously you create a fighter, you do your white collar, your amateur, your Olympics, whatever you choose your path to be. It could be against the AI if you want, just because it's, you know, the amateurs. I wouldn't really, personally I would want that to be against the computer, and then the pro is when it becomes full online. That's when you're in the online world. So we're going to get into my thoughts on how this would go down in the online world, how it would work. This wouldn't just be a world where you could jump in for half an hour then go off. I feel like, you know, my thought behind this would be something like people would have to be seriously sweaty at this. Or, you know, if you got a few hours a day, you play for them a few hours and then you play the next week for a few hours kind of thing. You don't just jump in for 20 minutes. You wouldn't have the time. I think that's kind of how my brain has worked when putting this all together. It took me about half an hour to an hour to write all this and think it all through and stuff and make it make sense out loud. So obviously it's all going to be within your weight class. You can choose to go up or down as you see fit, along with cutting weight like we spoke about in the other career video. It's never going to be the same people. Like I said, there's going to be thousands playing. It wouldn't just be the same 50 unless you're only going to fight someone more than once if you search their name to have a rematch. Obviously, if you fight, say I fight Bob and I beat Bob, next time he looks for a fighter, I'm not going to be there. It's going to be a whole different set of featherweights if we're in that division, for example. Or he can search Study 101 and I will come up and he can request a rematch. But I'll get into the whole, how I think the fighting idea should work out. So obviously you start off your pro career, if you're 0-0, you're going to see people that are 0-0, 0-1, 1-0, 2-0, all the way up to, I'd say 4-0, 2-2, things like that. So not too much doing, it's just a little bit more than you. So champions just can't fight or request fights from new players and just dominate it as they see fit. However, if you're 0-0 and you win against a 4-0 fighter, you may then see a list of people that are 6-0, 7-0, 7-1, 6-1. But then you'll also see people that are 0-1, 1-0, 2-0, things like that. So, you know, the game's kind of saying, listen, you're good, you beat this guy, he was 4-0 at this point. Do you want to risk it with someone who's 9-1? Or, you know, there's a few other fighters that are your level at 1-0, 0-1, 1-1, things like that. Personally, the way I think it should work is before you request a fight, or people can request a fight from you, you have to, like, train. You get, like, 5 weeks of training, and then once you've done them weeks of training, you then can request a fight or however you see fit. The training's always going to be stat based because it's a video game, so you're never going to have to actually train for a fighter. You're just going to train and then adjust during the fight. Obviously, I would say in brackets here, there would be a quick fight system in place. So if you didn't want to actually request and scout someone, then you just go into a quick fight. Obviously, you do run the risk of going into someone that's 27-0, 95 rated, unified world champion, and he just knocks the absolute tits off you. That's obviously the risk you run from quick fight in this career, in my mind anyways. So once you're trained, you feel you're ready to go for a fight, you can request a fight from the active people in the worlds. So, you know, wherever you choose, you can request them. You can scout opponents, look at their last 5 fights, the outcomes, the most used moves. It would encourage people to not fight the same. So if you see someone, if you have knocked 6 people out with a left hook, people are going to expect that left hook coming. They're going to move it, they're going to throw their straights, they're going to catch you off guard. So now you're going to feint the left hook and you're going to go with the right uppercut, or you're going to feint the left hook and go with the straight. So they're going to lean back to avoid the hook, and the straight's still going to come and connect across the chin. So I think it would encourage people to always fight in different ways and always adjust their style. Obviously, yes, it could come up saying they're more of a defensive fighter. And the only real way to beat a defensive fighter is to either be more defensive and counter punch or pressure. But then obviously that sometimes plays into a defensive fighter style. Obviously I thought the scouting was a good idea. And, you know, you can request a fight, they can request it from you, they can see what you're like, your stats, obviously everything like that. Like if you were fighting someone real, you'd see their height. It wouldn't be no mystery to it. You'd see their height, their reach, their win rate, their knockout rate, their land rate, things like that. You get to see their last few fights and the outcome. If they got dropped, if they dropped, things like that. If someone requests a fight and you turn it down, they can't request again for like an hour to avoid spamming. Obviously, if you're like Martial Mind, or if, I don't know, PewDiePie plays this game, for example, you know, people are going to want to spam him, and that avoids it. You can only get 1 invite in every hour or something, and then obviously, unless you're friends with someone, then obviously they are obviously on like kind of a quick list, for example. And then obviously when you're fighting or training, no invites come through. You have to almost say you are ready to accept fights, you are ready to request fights, and then you become available on the active players list. So I think that then gives people a small window to find certain people, and I think that makes more sense. To say if someone searches Martial Mind by name, but he is training or he is not active at the moment, he won't come on the game or he won't leave training, and his screen just fills with invites. It's just not possible to send it while they're training. It's only while they're actively looking for a fight. So then, for example, if you're 2-0 with 2 knockouts, so you're doing well at the minute, and a 10-1 fighter requests to fight you because you're doing well, it's popped on one of his things saying, you know, hot prospect, 2-0, 2 knockouts, you know, and you turn it down, not much happens. You aren't ready for a fight against someone who's got 11 fights. They're 10-1. If you turn down someone who's 2-0, 1-0, 2-1, then you risk not getting good fight offers next time. You might possibly lose money, in your next fight, because, you know, there's got to be some kind of punishment for it. You can't just abuse it, so you're always fighting low tier people. If you're 10-0 and someone wants to fight you and they're 10-0, that's a fight the game's going to want to make. And if you turn it down, and then you take another fight, you earn less from that fight. Whereas if you take it down and you then go offline and you turn your PlayStation off, your Xbox off, then the game, I don't know, kind of sees like, okay, he had to go, he could, you know. But then again, you wouldn't choose to actively look for a fight if you're now about to go off. That's why I think this system where you almost say, I am looking for a fight, I'm going to fight, I'm not going offline anytime soon, I'm looking for a fight actively right now. So if you turn down a fight, there's going to be repercussions to it, unless someone has got 20 more fights than you, and you're like, you know what, I'm not really feeling that one. But then same as if you're a champion and you're 27-0 undefeated, 35-0 undefeated, and someone who's 2-0 requests a fight, you can turn that down, no repercussions for that. That's a fight not worth taking. That is risk everything and win very little. So I would get that. If you turn down a fight, say someone who is 30-0 and you're 35-0, then you turn that down, then there's repercussions. So one thing I'm just going to have to get out here real quick, that when it comes to broken mechanics, there's going to be broken mechanics. There's going to be things that are slightly more spammier than the other. Maybe they make jabs and straights too powerful for the first month of the game. It happens. It's a video game. It is what it is. I say we can report people after the fight if they are spammy, racist, offensive in any way with tattoos, you know, offensive logos, you guys know what I mean, offensive words across tattooed across this. Report them. And yes, this could be abused if good players are beating the shit out of people and getting reported by shit players. But that's why I think this game needs a team of devs or mods or whoever to actually look into people who are being reported. If someone's been reported 10 times, it needs to be looked into. If someone's been reported 3 times in the same hour, it needs to be reported. If they are spammy, racist, abusing broken mechanics, their character gets deleted. That's how I say it works. If you know, there is a thing going around that people are saying the jab is broken, or not the jab, sorry, the jab, straight, hook, 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 hook is, you know, say it's a mechanic where if you jab straight hook, your fighter block just falls. I don't know, a broken mechanic in some way that becomes unbelievably abusable that you wouldn't do out of a normal fight, then I would say those fighters get deleted. And to be honest, I will be pissed if people abuse it, because people are moaning about wanting a real fighting simulator. So if then this game comes out and people abuse any mechanics that are broken, I'll be seriously pissed and let down by the community, because that would be a serious joke in my opinion. So then you guys get the basic idea of where we're at right now. So let's say I am 12-1, 12-2. I've had really great fights against some great people, knockouts, decisions, towels thrown in, you know, really great fights. Obviously, you know, the world's going to feel very much alive because you're always fighting real people. It's going to feel very intense, very fun. I don't think, you know, obviously yes, skill will be a factor, but I don't ever think there's gonna be someone that's undefeated. I don't care how good someone is at the game. I see a lot of people. I saw, I think it was Romero, say when this game drops, I'm gonna be the best in the world, or I'm gonna be the best at the game. I think I get being the best, I get it, but I feel like people aren't gonna enjoy that as much as someone that they don't know if it's gonna be a win or a loss. You know, I want a game where I could fight Marshall, he can beat me, I could beat him. You know. It's a real game. If he comes in for a straight, I slip back, catch him with a hook, catch him with another one, uppercut, hook, straight, roll, body shot, head shot. He drops. He might not be able to get back up. It's one of them games. I don't care about if someone's 60-0. No one's gonna want to fight them. If someone is 47-12, that's a guy that goes to war in his fights. He's not afraid. That'll be me. I will guarantee you guys right now, I will have the best gameplay. It might not always be wins, but I will have the best, most entertaining gameplay. I guarantee it. So now, we jump forward to the champion level. Let's say you're a champion or you're at the champion level. If you are a champion, you don't fight for 5 real days, I believe you should get stripped of the title. Yes, I know people have lives. There are some times where I don't get to play UFC for a week. I appreciate that. But this stops people from holding the title hostage. That's the word. As a champion, you should have sometimes mandatory fights. So say if, I don't know, say if I'm 20-0, but I'm not a champion. The champion is 22-0, and he has recently fought someone that's 17-6. It will come up to him saying, you either have to fight this active fighter right now, study, or you have to relinquish the belt, and he will fight for it against someone else. I think that if you're a champion, you should be forced into fighting the top competition all the time, and that's how it's going to change hands, man. You know, that's how it's going to change hands constantly. Obviously, there'll be a lot of champions because there'll be lots of people playing, there'll be lots of worlds going on. But I definitely think that would be the best way to do it, because champions are going to be changing hands all the time and all the time and all the time. They're going to come into different matchups all the time. They might come into someone that stands at 6 inches shorter but has got lightning fast hands, or they could come up with someone that's 6 inches taller and just bust them up with that reach for 12 rounds. You know, I think that's what's going to make it exciting. Obviously, my basic point to it is the mandatory fight would be a fighter who's got over 20 wins and is on a win streak. That, would, to me, justifies a mandatory title challenger. Then as a champ, you can fight other champions to unify the division, which obviously, you know, would be really interesting for content creation purposes and just in general to prove you're the best, in my opinion. This is where being the best would matter. I think, you know, don't say you're the best, but not have your division unified in your little world on this career mode. And then retire at a certain age whenever you see fit. Maybe when you get to your late 30s, early 40s, your character starts to slow down, stats start to dwindle a little bit. And that's part of the world, man. You start to slow down when you get older. That's just the way it be. But one more point I just want to say, I do believe this will be more fun with friends or other YouTubers, because there is always some dickhead, some cunt in the world to ruin the fun and realism of the game. I feel like if I were to create a world and took every YouTuber from it, say, I don't know, I put Prime Marshall, Balin, Combo, whoever else, Slick Cole, did I say Proxus? Things like that, people like that. I can't think of anyone else. Romero, obviously. And then, you know, everyone creates a world, we all play together. I wouldn't care if I went 0-10. I'd know against all of these guys, I'm going to have tough competition. I'm going to have fights where you guys are going to be buzzing. You know, you guys are going to be enjoying to watch this content, and that's where I think the game would be the most fun. You're always going to get someone that's going to come and ruin the fun with being spammy, because winning matters so much more than having fun and just generally not ruining the game, in my opinion. But that's pretty much all I've got to say on this matter, guys. You know, I hope you do enjoy. You did enjoy, sorry. You know, let me know your thoughts on this, if you think this is a complete waste of time, or if you like the idea, you think that it would be a good addition to add to the game, obviously, because there's going to be an online mode, so I figured an online career would be quite a good idea too. But yeah, this video took quite a bit to write out and put together, so I hope you guys can leave a like on it, subscribe down below, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.